Hello everyone again. So I'm here today to do my next video. It's a requested video from one of you lovely subscribers. You know who you are. So if you are a life path 5, that is your date of birth adds up and reduces to a 5, whatever type of 5 you are, 145, 235, blah. And your name, total, your complete full name that you've had since birth, each element adds up and reduces to a 7, then you are expression number 7. So your life path 5 is the most important number in your chart, bar none. It's your purpose and your reason that you are here. And all the other numbers exist to support your life path 5. Think of your life path number as the king of the kingdom, and all the numbers in your chart are there to serve that life path. And your expression number is the most influential aid to the king. So it's the most influential number after the life path is your expression number. Now your life path is your purpose. Your expression number is the talents that you brought with you to help you achieve your life path number. So remember, everything exists. That expression 7 exists in your life to serve your life path 5, king of your castle. So your areas of development when you come to this incarnation and you ask to learn these lessons of the life path 5, you're here to learn to focus with discipline. Okay, so much focus and so much discipline that it leads to goals being achieved. It comes to progression. It comes to you moving forward with your life and having a normal working and family life. Focused discipline that leads you to more security, to mastery, and definitely towards freedom. And then, because you're such an adventurous person, I don't want any life path 5s thinking that they should not manifest their adventurous spirit. Oh yes, you should keep mastering that adventurous spirit, because it's about your life path being able to balance the focus and the discipline that you need to achieve freedom, to achieve a specialism, to achieve your goals being achieved, to achieve progression. Okay, balance that with your need to be varied, to be adventurous, to deal with change, to have fearless experience, having a balance between those two, being able to still be that excited, confident, communicative adventurer, but also on the other side, you're also creating and building your freedom by creating focus, mastery, and discipline in your life. Now, that could be a specialism to mastery, or it could just be total focus on a passion or something that you're doing that brings you towards progression and the achievement of all your goals. It's about moving forward, your life path 5. So the talent that you brought with you, your expression number 7, is your spirituality. Now the life path 5 needs you to be a little bit more intuitive. I nearly forgot to say that, so that you can learn to communicate better to others, because the life path 5 is here to learn to communicate their message, their specialism, their goals, because they are here to be charismatic communicators. And the expression number 7 will give you all the intuition you need. So you know that you're a spiritual being in the expression number 7. You're a spiritual person. You trust the soul within you. You trust your intuitive wisdom, and you have faith that your immortal soul has lived here before and will live again. So you know you're a spiritual immortal being, and it's all part of your journey to your own spiritual evolution and helping others to evolve. So you're very much a talented spiritual teacher. Now, if you were to put that talent for intuition and spiritual and analytical, being able to balance the spiritual with the analytical, that intelligence, that ability to look at the detail and look at the spiritual and the intuitive as well, is a great talent. And it could definitely focus on or decide for you what kind of subject you're going to choose to focus on for your life path 5. It's likely to be quite a spiritual subject or a philosophical subject, because expression number 7s love all that big picture stuff. Anyway, moving on. So first learning point, I've split the life path 5 into 9 elements. Okay, now on the left hand side is the element of the life path that you're here to learn to develop towards. This is not a talent. The blue column is not your talent, it's your purpose. It's what you're here to work towards. Okay, so your first element for your life path 5 that you're working towards is that you tend to get easily bored, and you know, the 5 really wants to study loads of topics. You get really excited by starting new things, having new experiences, meeting new people, but the problem is you end up spreading yourself too thin and not progressing in any subject or area or goal, because you just look at everything. And you know, when we do everything, we don't do anything particularly deeply. Okay, so but the good thing about that is this initial varied experience is needed, and your expression 7 will help you learn from that experience, because, you know, you're never going to choose a focus or a specialism or be able to set any goals until you know what those options are, right? So initial varied experience is needed in order to help you choose a subject, a goal, a specialism, and then focus on it with discipline and continue with that topic, which you wouldn't normally do. Continue with that topic beyond the point of boredom towards the detail. Excuse me, if I don't stop my nose itching every time I come in this room. Excuse me. Anyway, so having the initial varied experience, but then being able to focus on a passion or a subject or a goal and focus on it with discipline to mastery. So your 7 expression talent can support your life path by helping you to focus on a particular subject. Like for the expression 7, it's very much about the spiritual, the philosophical, the big questions, you know, esoteric theories, and looking into the detail of the ideas. And the expression 7 is really good at analysing that detail, and you kind of need to look into that detail to help you to support your life path 5, because you need to look deeper into a subject, a specialism or a goal, to the detail underneath. And the 7 is going to be amazing talent to help you be able to dig through that detail and go into depth. So you're doing more depth and a little bit less breadth as you start to choose. Breadth is fine at first, remember, but you know, when you're choosing and you want to start focusing with discipline, you need to start narrowing that choice. Okay, so there may be times where you may overload yourself with too many topics. Both the 7 and the 5 energy struggle to commit to one thing, one idea, because the 7 loves to look at everything too. So it's going to make you particularly scattered, and you might find it particularly difficult to focus, on a subject or a specialism or a goal to mastery. Okay, so if you haven't already, you need to spend a bit of time. If you're in that scattered state still for your life path 5, it's time now to start thinking, what are your passions? You know, what would you really like to focus on and achieve to help you achieve that progression and mastery and freedom for your life path 5? So as a rule, you can focus on a subject of interest with discipline. I mean, the 7 is very focused and can sit quietly and focus. So you have the talent and the ability to use that if you choose to use that. Stop itching. So your focus on inner development, okay, means that you may focus on a spiritual and self-discovery topic towards mastery, or set goals for your own self-discovery, spiritual and mastery. Okay, so it's about focusing on one thing, and your expression number 7 might give you an esoteric or big question subject, but spend some time thinking on what that subject is if you haven't already. You're also here to develop the ability to balance your adventurous nature, because no one wants you to lose that adventurous spirit. You know, it's part of you, and it's what helps you look at the variation in the world. So you're here to develop that ability to balance the variety, the change, the adventure, but also be able to balance that with stability, family, skill mastery, learning, putting 4 posts into the ground and creating yourself some security. Mix the two. I mean, your 5 life path can make you totally spontaneous. You can be a bit of a risk taker, which is fine in some situations, but sometimes the 5 can take ridiculous risks that nobody in their right mind would take, and jumping from one experience to the other, never settling, never progressing, never moving forward. That's the difficulty for you as a life path 5. But as an expression 7, you see variety, change and adventure as tools for your own inner personal and spiritual development, because the 7 expression is very much about their own spiritual development. So you see that variety of subject as tools to help you learn and develop yourself in here, because that's what the 7's best at. Your talent is about developing yourself inside, being that personal development person, developing your intuition, developing opinions from all those big picture questions we ask ourselves, using analysis and asking source energy. You have that ability. So you can balance this with your 7 ability to study and progress and analyze to mastery. Okay, so you've got those 2 together. Variety, change, and adventure, they're tools for your learning and personal and spiritual discovery. So the varied experience would be good for a 7, but then you can balance this with your 7 ability to focus, study, and progress and analyze. The 7 talent is an analyzer, so you have that ability. Whether you use it or not, that ability is there. You may not find building, settling, and building a family so easy, because the 7's not really all that worried about whether they're in a family or not, or whether they're in a relationship or not. They kind of take the attitude that, I want a relationship, but only sometimes, So the 7, isn't going to jump in straight away to build that family. That might take them some time and a little bit more cajoling for that. So building the family and settling is going to be a little bit more difficult for you as an expression 7, because you're so much, you're so happy with your own company, and you do love to study and think. That's the essence of you as an expression 7. Expression 7. So support your life path 5. While I scratch my nose again, support your life path 5 by balancing that varied experience that you love. Never get rid of that. Still do it. Still look at your options, and then balance that with being able to settle and have that stable base to progress from, the springboard to jump from. Take time to read and experience a variety of subjects, then choose a passion and focus on it with discipline. That is your road to mastery and freedom. And of course, it supports your life path 5, which is what it's all about. You're here to develop your ability to attain freedom in here, to feel inner freedom and outer freedom in your environment by doing things that you sometimes might not want to do. Because, we get freedom wrong, us in the human race. And I'm an expression number 5, so, I often do this and still do this all the time. However, we think that if we're doing what we want to do, then that is freedom. That's not really quite right, really, because if I did everything I wanted, let's say I got up in the morning and ate bacon and crispy bacon and fried egg every morning with, a big dollop of greasy fried bread, and then at lunchtime I'll have a nice burger, will I be free then? No, I'm likely to be ill, likely overweight and unable to be as free as I want to be. Or I'll decide I'm going to go and rob the bank because I want to. However, what does robbing a bank do? Puts you in prison, right? So sometimes we have to not sometimes, this is what we need to learn. This is what we need to learn, Life Path 5s. And we all need to learn this, but Life Path 5, especially in this lifetime, okay? Freedom is not doing what you want to do necessarily. Okay, sounds dodgy, doesn't it? But doing what you want to do doesn't bring you freedom necessarily. Unless you want to be really healthy and you want to do everything the way everyone wants you to do, then that's going to be more likely to bring freedom. But doing what you want doesn't always bring freedom, Doing what you want is not necessarily freedom. I know I keep saying it, but it's such a big concept for us to really think about. You can become a slave to your desires. A slave to your desires, be ill from smoking, ill from drinking what you want, ill from eating what you want, in prison for doing what you want. If we want wholesome things, that's great. But us 5s, whether you're an expression 5 or a life path 5, we're quite good at saying, I'll do what I want, it's my life. I know, I'm an expression 5. But what you want isn't necessarily good for you, and what you want doesn't necessarily bring you the freedom that you think doing what you want will bring you. Clear as mud? Okay, so your life path 7 will want to do what your gut tells you to do. So the life path, the expression number 7 energy is very much doing what they want to do, but not just out of anger or I'll do what I want. The 7 does what they want because they listen to their heart, their intuition, and they do whatever their gut, their heart, their inner voice, whatever you want to call it, the voice within them helps them to do, like whatever emotion they feel. If it makes them feel that they need to do something, or it could be an emotion, a feeling, it could be someone speaking in your head, it could be your own intuition, whatever that is, you're able as a 7 to follow that intuition and do what you think you should do, but because you've channeled that answer from source energy. So, you've got advice on that. Your wisdom from the 7 energy can help you to understand the true nature of freedom, because you study in the 7. You're a studier of the spiritual esoteric subjects. And that kind of study into that spiritual law will help you all the more to understand the true nature of freedom via discipline. When you're disciplined, you're healthy. When you're disciplined with your food, you're healthy. When you're disciplined with yourself and your exercise, and when you're disciplined with your goals, you have money, you have health. What do you have? You have more freedom. The more money and health you've got, the freer you are. Okay, so again, freedom is not necessarily about doing what you want, because we can become a slave to our desires. And the 5 is rife for saying, I'll do what I want, and then maybe not doing anything that's particularly healthy for them emotionally, physically, or mentally. So your wisdom from the 7 energy can help you to understand the true nature of that freedom. Okay, you realize that if you feel or hear in your inner voice that you do not want to do something, that is your intuition warning and guiding you, so it's the right thing to do. The 7 is more about following their intuition than being a rebel. Use that talent that you have in the 7 expression to help you to do what's right for you. So if a task goes against your values, or it just feels wrong, you just won't act. You just won't do it. You're not going to do anything that destroys yourself when you're really following your intuition. Excuse me. So support your life path 5 by using your intuition and letting your intuition guide your actions, not your desires necessarily, because your desires won't necessarily lead you to freedom. Okay, so let your intuition guide your actions, not your desires, because your desires could ultimately rob you of the freedom that you've been striving for. Discipline and focus is actually key to being free. I'll leave a few seconds for you to digest that one. So we're here to learn to develop also. When you're a 5, you need to be a bit of a messenger, a communicator, communicating a message, but to a wider audience than just people around you. You could be a worldwide speaker, but you're here to learn to do that. You don't already have that ability. So you're here to learn to develop your verbal and written communication skills, very technical, very creative, charismatic verbal sharing of ideas, and you're excellent. You need to develop your excellent potential to tell stories, to amuse, to inspire, and to teach people, because you have the potential to be an amazing communicator and really bring your goals, your specialism, or whatever your passion is that you're focused on to life for your whole audience. So your 7 talent energy makes you competent at communicating. You're not particularly low, because the 7 doesn't really like to talk in front of people. So you do not necessarily like to use this skill, especially verbally in front of big groups of people. The 7 likes to study on their own. They don't mind writing and reading, because that helps them learn and research. But speaking to a group of people is not going to be something the expression 7's going to be happy with doing without some work, okay, without some confidence. Your 7 talent energy, your nature is better at lone research, basically, your own inner development. That's what your talent is. You may not necessarily feel that you always need to pass all the information that you have on, but you do need to do that. To support your life path 5, this is going to be difficult, but develop towards being able to communicate your intuitive wisdom and research to other people without fear that they're going to ridicule you or put you down or, do anything to hurt you. Okay, it's very, very, very important. So develop towards being able to communicate your intuitive wisdom, your beliefs, and your research and your excellent knowledge to others with passion and charisma and confidence, without worrying about whether people are going to do anything to hurt you or ridicule you in any way. Don't worry about that. That's what you're here to work past. This is going to be a difficult one because of your 7 expression, but you are here to learn to communicate with that wider audience, and it's important that you try and develop that in this lifetime. So you're also here to learn to be committed, to be dependable, to do what you say you are going to do, so people can know that if you say you're going to do something, they can be safe in the knowledge that you're actually going to do it. Life Path 5 struggle with this. So you often forget what you promise. You can be so chaotic, so scattered, so changeable, looking for the next experience that you just forget. You don't do it on purpose. You don't deliberately say, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'm deliberately not going to do it. You just say, yeah, then you're on to the next thing, and what you said you were going to do is gone. Totally gone from your head. We need to focus you down. However, your 7 talent energy is not terribly concerned with committed to other people or being dependable to other people, because remember, the 7 is about their own inner development. They might like to help people to read their own intuition and help to develop them spiritually, but as far as committing to them in any long-term way or making yourself dependable so that people or a team or a group of people could depend on you, it's not something you really want to be down with. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do that, but the 7 expression doesn't really like being responsible to others. They don't like being given responsibilities to act out, or committing to anything, or being dependable, because they might not feel like doing that, and then they'll feel obliged to. You're not one for committing. You put your energy into your own inner development, really, rather than committing to external situations and or other people. So your Life Path 5 needs you to look outwards that little bit more. Your very intuition, your very intuition, your Life Path 5 is and has the potential to be very intuitive, but you're very outwards in your way, and you need to develop towards committing to people, places, and be a person that can be depended on to do what you say and do what you're going to do. Now, this isn't going to be easy. You're going to need to have some form of organisation situation, because if you've been running along as a Life Path 5 for all these many years, forgetting what you say and not being dependable, it's not going to be an easy turnaround for you. So as well as learning to communicate better and being more confident with groups, you need to look outwards that little bit more as well and develop towards committing to external things like people and places and goals and specialisms and things like that, and do what you'll say you're going to do to help develop your Life Path 5. Now, I'm not saying all these elements are going to be easy. You're going to find some elements a huge amount easier than others, and your expression number there plays a part in that, and the other numbers in your chart and your experience of life so far will, help or hinder that. So you're here to develop your social skills and your charisma. It's not just about speaking messages to the people. It's about being able to network with them, create trusting relationships with them, meet new people confidently, so that you can expand your communication, expand your goals, your message, your progression to more people. So you're here to develop your ability to be social, to be more positive, to be charismatic, to have the potential. You have the potential to be really fun-loving, positive, optimistic, and you've got the skills to do that, but you can be quite uptight and tense and argumentative, because the 5 is quite a go-go action number, and sometimes you feel really confused at what step to take, and you can be a bit uptight and argumentative and not always all that social with others, but this is what you've got to develop past. However, your 7 energy makes you you're more of a loner because you like lone work and you like lone study and you like lone research. So this element, again, the expression number's not going to help you overly. You can come across to others a bit aloof, so they don't connect with you, distant and disinterested. However, you could not be more interested. You're just a bit of a people watcher, and you don't really, you might hide your emotions behind a poker face, So you can come across to others like you don't care, like you're aloof, distant, disinterested, but actually you're actually watching everyone. But you don't come across to others in a very friendly manner a lot of the time. You don't mean to, that's just how you analyse a room, and because you like to sit back quietly, really. You're also quite mysterious. You don't share much about yourself beyond surface stuff with other people. And it's sharing more of a deeper you that helps you make more connections with others. And you're a bit untrusting at times as an expression 7, and you may not always want to share your inner ideas or opinions or your spiritual identity, because you're unsure whether they will ridicule you. You don't know whether you trust them, but you have the ability to be social and extroverted. The 7 ability to be extroverted is actually there. It's just that the 7 doesn't always use that ability. So support your life path 5 by using that potential within your 7 expression, developing towards being more social, speaking to people more, so that you can be more trusting, more open, more fun, and people are more likely to listen to your message and follow you and learn from you to help you achieve your life path 5 if you draw them in with that bit of charisma that you're here to develop. Okay, and you have the potential for that, otherwise you wouldn't have that as your life path number. So you're also here to be consistently independent as well. Now, the 5 can swing from fierce independence, like even to the point where you cut your own hair and make a complete hash of it. I mean, I've known life path 7s that are so independent, they don't like asking for a shopkeeper to pass them a packet of fags, or they don't like anyone helping them with anything. They will literally cut their own hair if they think that they can do it, and maybe even walk the streets with their lovely amateur haircut. So you're here to be consistently independent. And I think what I should have written there is interdependent, because you need to learn to be independent, almost definitely. But you also need to avoid dependence and learn that we are all inherently independent. The 5, you can swing from fierce independence to dependence and then back again. And the reason why you end up swinging back to dependence is you're one for risky behavior. So get rich quick schemes, or investing in shares that you think are going to make you millions and actually take all your money away from you. So leads you from being, strong and independent, fiercely independent. Then you make a difficult get rich quick scheme mistake, and then you lose everything and you end up dependent again. And, that's what you fear the most. So we need to balance, develop that independence, but also understand that you are in an interdependent world, and we're all here to help each other, to be dependent and independent when needed for each other. Okay, so your 7 talent energy will help you greatly to achieve the independence you need, because your expression number 7 is really fiercely independent as well. Not as fiercely independent as the 5 can get, but you do want to be independent and you want to stand on your own 2 feet. You have that talent in the 7. Whether you're using it or not, remember, is another matter, but you have the ability to be extremely independent. You're quite the loner, remember. Very independent. It's in your nature as an expression 7. So if you're not showing independence at the moment because you are a life path 5, you need to start using some of your expression 7 talent, because the independence flows through your blood, really. Whatever independence you need for this life path 5, your expression 7 will help you avoid or balance risky endeavors, so that you don't end up doing things that don't serve you, or that take all your money away, or make you ill, or help you lose your job, or blah blah blah. So you prefer to rely on yourself than other people, which instills that strong independent streak. Absolutely. In fact, if you're a fiercely independent life path 5, the expression number 7 might make you worse. It might exacerbate the situation. So you need to take care when you feel that that might be creeping in, because the expression 7 will never let you be dependent easily. The expression 7 is a very independent number, but you're prone in the 5 to be a bit fierce in your independence. So the 7 could balance you out, or it could actually make you more fierce. So keep an eye on that as an expression, life path 5, expression 7, that you don't swing to fierce independence really strongly all the time. You need a balance. So your keen intuition, when you use it properly and you listen and follow it, will help you to take calculated risks, to think, is this right? Does my gut feel this is right? Does my inner voice say this is right? And you're more likely to be able to take calculated risks and avoid unacceptable risk and loss, because your intuition and inner voice is not going to mess you up or screw you over. Only your own fears and not listening to your own inner voice is going to be your downfall, or anyone's downfall, but especially you as a 5. You're here to develop and be fearless. The 5 energy, you're communicating mastery and ideas to an expanded audience. You need to be fearless and charismatic and confident in your communication, because fearlessness is the backbone of confident communication. It is like, you need to develop towards, people not even thinking you have a comfort zone. You're that fearless, courageous. You need to challenge others as well past their own comfort zones. Okay, and if you're doing an esoteric spiritual subject, you might be that spiritual teacher that challenges people to move forward with their lives. Just a suggestion. Anyway, so you're here to develop the ability to be fearless. You have the potential to be fearless, and sometimes you might be fearless, and sometimes you might be really fearful. But you're here, you're here to make others believe you don't have a comfort zone, that you're that fearless. And then through your example, through your teaching, and through your encouragement, you can help other people to be challenged past their comfort zone and do things that they would never believe that they could do. So you are fearless. You are fearless as a 7. Okay. Fearless when you're channeling your intuition, because you trust your spiritual intuition so strongly. You have strong spiritual convictions, and you're happy that your life is going just as it should. Okay, so you're fearless in life because you know you're channeling your intuition correctly, and you know that your life is going as it should. You're brave enough to be yourself, and you don't follow the crowd or popular culture. Oh boy, the 7 does not do what the crowd does. All these popular culture and fashions and popular television programs, or everybody watches. The 7 is not going to wear anything or do anything just because other people do it. Okay, they're not into popular culture. You're not into following the crowd, and you're certainly not into, being the poppy or the lamb. You're the fearless one. The expression 7 can help you here, and you will be quite, you won't always conform to the norms. You can be quite fearless and unconforming, as a 7 expression. However, you tend to mistrust others a little and feel that the world is against you at times, which is what will instill those fears within you. But remember, you're here to be fearless and not to allow yourself to mistrust and think everyone's against you. Use your intuition. Sometimes that you can't trust people. We all know that. We've got to know who we can trust and who we can't. And your intuition, your inner voice, that's the one that's going to do that for you. That's the tool that's going to help you make those right decisions and know when to be fearless and know when to back off. So support your life path 5 by always acting by faith, fearlessly, via that intuition. If your inner voice says yeah, if your inner gut makes you feel yeah, if everything feels right about it, then go for it. If the opposite is true, then you have to walk away, because otherwise you're just not using your intuitive talents effectively, and you need that intuition to support your life path 5. I've been talking too much. Maybe I'm getting an itchy nose and sore throat. Oh no, I haven't been out the house for weeks, so it can't be COVID, so don't panic. Not that I'm all going to give you COVID over an internet connection anyway, but whatever. So, as a life path 5, you're full of energy and drive, and you often spout that energy in many directions and end up sort of, it's like shooting a ray gun and using up all your power and shooting it in indiscriminate directions, but not actually hitting anything or achieving anything. So you're here to learn to make good use of your energy and your drive to achieve. So you feel, if you feel restricted and under confident, or you restrict yourself because of underconfidence, which 5s often do, you will end up full of energy. You'll be restless, and you may turn into a drama queen or end up doing things with your freedom that aren't good for you, like substances or alcohol or food or dangerous activities that are going to make it questionable whether you make it home that evening safe. Use your energy for experience, for progression and adventure. Be courageous with it, but don't be shooting your energy in indiscriminate directions or taming that energy down with food and substances because you haven't learned to use that energy and drive constructively. Very, very important. Very, very important. Very, very important for a life path 5 to use their time, their energy and their drive constructively. Okay, but your 7 talent means your life centers on learning, experience, research, study, self-improvement. So you're always looking to put your energy and drive into directions that are good, but mostly for your own inner development, not necessarily for anyone else. Experience and adventure are valuable learning experience for a 7, because the 7 links all their experience and learning back to their own big picture, to their own inner development. So the 7 energy, your talent, your potential ability is when you use it. You've already got this talent there, but you've got to use it. There's no point having a bat if you're not going to swing it, So you're strong, you're free-spirited, and you're able to use your energy for your own ends, but put it into a direction, because you're a studier, you're a learner, you're a doer, you're an internal developer, So your energy and drive are focused on your life journey, because that's what the expression 7 is. The trials and tribulations that come from life experience and research. So you could use all that learning and knowledge and background wisdom to help you think, right, how can I use this in the real world? How can I make this idea, how can I direct it into something that will achieve something in the real world? It's about using those numbers together. Research, study, think, learn, intuit ideas, and then make sure for your 5 life path that you are making good use of the ideas and the things that you learn, and focusing those ideas, that energy and that drive into progression, into something that's going to be constructive for you. Okay, and you need to do that as part of your life path 5. I hope that you found my video really, really useful today. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and whack that bell icon, because that's what's going to keep you up to date. I think you have to choose all, and that will keep you up to date with all my latest uploads. Please slam the like button if you found this video useful. And if you want to contact me for a reading, because I do in-depth readings for people, or shorter readings for people for their life purpose and all their core numbers, it gets quite exciting. So I do readings for people, and you can ask me about that by emailing me or contacting me in social media, which is going to be in the description box. And if you want to learn about numerology, I've got a Udemy course, and I'm going to put a link to my numerology Udemy course in the description box below. So if you have any questions about my video, if you'd like to request a video, you'd like to request a reading, or you just want to say hello, contact me on my email, my social media. I'd love to have you guys on a Zoom call for a reading, and I'd love to know, love to get more people learning numerology. So that's why my Udemy course is out there. So I'm going to stop babbling and say, as ever, trust the soul within you guys, because only your own intuition knows best. See you soon.